Hi guys, thank you again for joining me for another episode of What the Smut Book Reviews. I am your host, Candace. If you can see a little bit of my shirt here, I'm rocking my first ever, was this my first ever? I may have had one before this, I don't know, I can't remember, but VF t-shirt, which if you know what VF is, R.I.P. VF. VF was short for vampirefreaks.com, and it was a social networking site, kind of like Facebook, except for it was for more of the gothic slash industrial slash punk crowd. Anyway, longtime member, right here, from like 2002, something like that. Anyway, yeah, and they're no more. They shut down. They gone. Life goes on, you know what I mean? I'm not sure why I'm talking about this. It has nothing to do with the review that I'm here to do. But it just, look at this. I can't, stop. Okay. So, any Hoozledorf. Today I will be reviewing for you guys a book. A book that I know when I hold it up, there's going to be a lot of you that are going to be salty about it because you can't get your hands on it right now. And I'm sorry for that. But I was one of the lucky ones that managed to get a copy when it was in print. So y'all just gonna have to eat it. So I will be reviewing for you guys this magnificent, sexually deviant man right here. This is the book Seer by Hettie Ivers, and it is part of her Werlock Evolution series. It is the most recent release in that series. It is part one of a two-part book. So Seer is the first half of the book, and the second half will have a different title. I believe it's going to be called Reaper. But both books are Kai's story, which is this lovely thing here. So this book has 306 pages. It is, again, not currently for sale anywhere. Okay, I'm sorry to say, but if you have watched any of my previous Hettie reviews, you'll know that she is kind of like a part-time novelist. She does have an actual like day job. Writing is not her full-time thing, you know. She does it on the side when she has time, when she can carve out time, and we really appreciate her for that because these books are addictive. And yeah, so obviously because of that, you know, releases are not like, you're not going to get a new Hettie Ivers book every 3 months, every 6 months, whatever it is. She is currently working on Reaper, which is part two of the series, like I said. There is no release date yet, but I do have it on good authority, Lauren, that when Reaper is released, that Seer will go back into print or at least be available to download for your Kindle or Nook. So look forward to that. So there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and you guys will be able to eventually read this book. And if you haven't heard of this series, this isn't the most recent book. You can get the previous books now. There was a 3-part like novella type thing going on to condense into one book to tell Alex and Melena's story. And that was book 1 in the Werlock Evolution series. Book 2 was a book called No Light. Book 3 was a book called Just Like Animals, and this would be considered technically, well, in my opinion, book 4. Okay, so you can get the previous books on Amazon right now at least for Kindle. And I believe some of them are in paperback that you can buy them just like this in this large paperback, which you will not be disappointed with. The prices for those books are just like any other like large paperback book that's like self-published or whatever through Amazon. They're like, I don't know, $11, $13, something like that. I mean, maybe you would consider it pricey in terms of paperback, but it's a big paperback that's about the same size as a hardcover, except for you have the convenience of it not weighing 400 pounds. Yeah. So also a thing, and I've talked about this before, so I'm not going to expound upon it like crazily, but a thing with like books that are published by, like printed by Amazon for authors. Why is my nose itching? I feel like I need to sneeze. Stop. Okay. Is that the cover, I don't know what they use for the covers for these books, but it's got like some kind of gloss or like veneer or something that feels like suede. It doesn't feel like paper. It's so silky and soft and the precious. Okay, so I'm gonna chill. I get too worked up. I can't. So yeah. So you can buy those previous books, and they'll come just like this with the delicious covers. And you will not be disappointed. I guarantee it. You will not be disappointed in this series. If you come to me with a complaint about this series, there's too much going on, and it's diluted, and I couldn't keep track of the plot. That's all I gotta say about that. Because I'm not trying to make no enemies on this channel, but at the same time, it's like, if you're a connoisseur of lady porn and you have to have read your fair share of novels, I find it hard to believe that you can't be drug into this. Like, it's just not. I've read every book in this series at least twice. Some of them 3 times. So for you to say you can't keep up with the plot, which I just saw an Amazon review that said that on one of them, and I was just like, okay, porque, what? No. So yeah, 9 minutes into the video, let me read you guys the blurb, and then we can break down a little bit, and then I'll give you my rating, and then closing spiel, yada, 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 yada. Okay. So I will read from the back, because I believe what's on the back is exactly the same as what I printed out from Amazon, because I'm a doof and I do more work than I should. So the blurb for this book says, 10 years ago, seers across the globe were wiped out, thrusting the supernatural world into figurative darkness. When word spreads that the first new seer in a decade has been found, powerful forces will hunt her. The dead will unite to defend her. And a repressed sadist werewolf will abandon his century-long vow of celibacy to claim her as his own. Okay, so the main characters of this book, the main male character, oh my God, look at those eyes, is Kai. He is what they're in this realm called werewolf, and it's essentially a werewolf who has additional powers other than, like the general that comes with werewolves, like immortal, super strength, and whatever. So he can like teleport and whatever. So Kai is the main hero of this book. The main female character is a girl named Lauren. She is a college student. Kai is very, very old. By human standards anyway. Like he's a werewolf, so he's been around the block for a bit, he's circled the block a couple times. Still hot, still deviant, still, sexually repressed. Okay, so the deal here is that Kai was previously mated to another werewolf who died, and normally in this universe, when your mate dies, you within like hours, minutes, days, whatever, soon to follow, you bite it as well, right? Because there's a mating bond, and when one goes, the other follows. I think that's pretty standard in a lot of other books too, like in some form or fashion. So, so his mate dies, but then he doesn't. And everybody's like, the hell, you know? So he goes on to live this life of celibacy in, you know, memorandum of his dearly departed mate, who P.S. most other werelocks did not like. You either loved Maribel or you hated her, like you loathed her, or you were obsessed with her. So like, you know, but yeah, so she died and he didn't, and he went on to live, you know, a celibate life in honor of her. But he's like got these like sexual, he's fucked up, y'all. He's fucked up. Like in here and in here, but really in here. So Kai is the last, what's known as the last Arctic werewolf, the pure white werewolves. There was a prophecy way back when that said that, you know, the Arctic werewolves or something would bring about the apocalypse somehow. So his entire species was like wiped out. He's the only surviving one. There have been a lot of other prophecies that dictate like this decade of no light thing. So I don't want to spoil anything for you guys if you have not read the previous books. Essentially, Maribel died, but she wasn't really dead. She was like floating out in the ether somewhere, and like twisting and turning events behind the scenes to like bring the previous couples together and like somehow influence like death of certain characters. And like, okay, so she's back there and, you know, she's a little ghosty and she's pulling some puppet strings and whatever. And yeah, so now Maribel's spirit has been reborn into the body of a child. Like the child is now like 9-10 years old. And she's considered the rogue with a capital R. She's considered a rogue werewolf. But she's the rogue, and it pertains to a prophecy that came out saying that also this rogue would be like the end of werewolf civilization as you knew it. It very vague. All these prophecies are very, you know what I'm saying? Like you have one camp of people who are like pro-rogue, like we're finally not going to be tied to a pack and we can do what we want to do and not be beholden to people's orders and whatever. And then you have the other side who are like, boo, rogue. Without pack mentality, you go nuts and you just like lose your shit and you can't, like, you mentally, and then you just go on murder rampage and you can't, you know. So there's two different camps, right? You have team Salvatella and you have team Salvatella, Reynoso. Is it Reynoso? That's how I pronounce it in my brain. Anyway, so yeah, so one is kind of like pro-rogue, one is anti-rogue, but that's kind of the backstory for, you know, what's going on throughout this series. So Kai is messed up because his mate is dead. He runs into this girl, Lauren, who he's sent to kind of spy on because they believe that she is the first new seer, like vision person, you know, what do you call those? Like telekinetic, ESP, whatever. And she's like the first new one that they've heard of who has any potential, who gets visions and things like that to steer their race in the correct direction for 10 years. So for 10 years, all the seers died, and all the seers died. There were no new seers for 10 years. And now this Lauren is the first that they've heard about. They send Kai to check her out. Kai is immediately like, obsessed with her. But he's also screwed up. So it's like he can go into her mind and he can alter her memories and things like that. So like he'll pounce on her and then he'll erase that memory because of like self-loathing and whatever. And then she has like she has these memories in like the form of dreams that she thinks are dreams, right? She also can get like, not that she sees ghosts, but she gets like messages, like she can connect with the other side. So I guess that's also part of her like seer ability, like her, you know. So Kai's like low-key obsessed with her, but he can't tell his pack that because they're the anti like rogue pack, and they're like, you know, we need to track down the seer, see if she's gonna say anything that might be pro-rogue, because if she is, then she's gotta bite it. You know what I'm saying? So he's like afraid they're gonna do something to her. So he's like, oh no, she's nobody important. Her visions are like, she's young, she's a college student, she's neglected her visions her entire life, or she's like shunned the ghosties her entire life, you know, in favor of like trying to be normal. And okay. So he's like obsessed, but then he's trying to repress. And, you know, he has a dead mate over here who's like, you know, well, she's been reborn, so she's just off there doing whatever. But, you know, he has that memory of her and he's like, I can't be with you, Lauren, because I need to stay true to Maribel, even though she was kind of a bitch, if I'm being honest. And yeah, so the trials and tribulations of a BDSM style sadistic type, kinky fuckery type, superpowered werewolf. Yeah, that's what that book's about. So yeah, so there is a note put on here on the Amazon page, the Amazon listing for this book. There is a note, and I don't know if it's an author's note. I mean, I would assume it's an author's note, because why would Amazon like be talking about the book as if you wrote the book? You didn't write the book. Hettie Ivers wrote the book. So it says that Seer is a full-length novel, but it is not a standalone. While Seer may be enjoyed as a first read in the series for maximum entertainment, it is recommended that you read the books that precede it. Read the books that precede it. I always stare at myself while I'm recording, which is why it looks like I'm kind of like looking off to the side. But like if I'm gonna look at the camera, I need to look at the camera when I say this. Like, read the books that precede it. Okay? I have OCD. When I'm aware that there is a book that is part of a series, I have to read the books in order. Sometimes, and I've talked about this in a previous video too, it's happened many times, not just sometimes, a lot of times. Sometimes I fuck up and I read a book, and then I realize after I've read it that there's 4 other books that happened before it. And I'm just like, okay. All right, so now I got to go back and I got to read that. And then when I get back up to this point, I got to reread this one, and then I can move forward in the series. That, I'm sure I'm not the only one. Okay, I'm sure I'm not the only one who does this. I'm sure I'm not the only one with OCD, like book OCD, who has to read books in order, as long as you know that there's an order and it's not a standalone novel. Because so you guys can feel me on this. And it happened with this series. I did do that. I did read them out of order because I didn't know it was part of a series. But if you're going to read these books, read them in order. I've given you the information that you need. Go forth and prosper, or whatever that fucking saying is, okay? Do it. For the rating for this book, I'm going to give it a 9. I don't remember what I rated the other books, but Kai is fucking delicious, y'all. Like, yeah. Rated it a 9. If you like me, if you like my videos, if you find me generally entertaining, please subscribe to my channel and make sure to hit that little bell so you get notifications when I upload a new video. and follow me on my other social media platforms. I do have a members only Facebook group. I have an Instagram and a Twitter account, all under variations of the name What the Smut. And I will put them in the description box below. And I will show you a cute little banner right here that I made in Photoshop with my terrible skills. And yeah, what else can I say? That's all I got to say. I feel like I'm forgetting stuff. I feel like I'm forgetting something. It'll either come in the bloopers or it just won't. Okay. I thank you guys so much for joining me for another review. I really appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate you guys sticking with me. If you're repeat viewers, I love you guys so much. Please like this video if you liked it. Leave me a comment because I love comments. And bada bing, bada boom, we're done. Okay. I will see you guys in my next video. Love you. Bye. Y'all, I am so stupid. Y'all should have seen me trying to take these thumbnails just now. Okay. All right. Couple things. We're just gonna throw it out there. We're gonna talk about it. I can't do a wing liner to save my life. Okay. So we're not gonna talk about how thick they are or how uneven they are or how this one's better than this one or this one's better. I don't want to hear it. Okay. Save it. Not interested. Talking point number 2. Do you see this wet spot here? Yeah, I somehow managed to rub foundation all over the collar of my shirt when I was putting it on, and so I had to go scrub that out. That's what that is. Okay. Let's calm down. Talking point number 3, my hair. Okay. Day old dry shampoo, not washed hair. It is what it is. I can't. I can't be bothered. I literally can't be bothered at this point. It's week 5 bajillion of quarantine and nobody knows what day it is. And look at that. Look at that. I can't. Nobody cares about these things anymore. My hair is literally clip, tiny little bun thing. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. None of it. In the grand scheme of things, none of it matters. We don't care. Okay? I'm going bald. My hair is so thin, y'all. I've been saying y'all a lot. I've been watching a lot of Paula Deen on YouTube. Okay, she started doing what she has labeled quarantine cooking. So it's just like one person with a little camera filming her in her kitchen while she makes different things. And you can tell the difference between like when she was on Food Network and everything was like heavily scripted and like they cut out a lot of stuff and the different camera angles and whatever, you know, it looked pro. And in these videos, it's just like, oh, I'm in the kitchen. I'm gonna tell you guys the wrong ingredients because I just can't remember. Eventually I'll correct myself or somebody in the description box will help me and they'll put in the correct measurement. Like, she just don't give a fuck, y'all. And since I've been watching those videos, even though I was born and raised in South Carolina, I've been saying y'all a lot. And I've been saying it the way Paula Deen says it, where she's like, come on, y'all, you know? And I don't know why I do that. They're good. They're cute videos though. Like they're like 10 minutes a piece, maybe even less than that. Some of them are less than that. But like if you want to know how to make good old fashioned Southern mac and cheese, Paula Deen quarantine videos, y'all. Okay. Oh, there was one thing that I forgot to mention in the beginning of this video. It's not that my eyeliner looks like shit, even though it does. That's not what I was gonna say. So somebody, and I don't know who it is because obviously it's somebody who's lost their damn mind, is selling a used copy of Kai on Amazon for $100. Like, boo, I love you, but $100, come on. If you're watching this video and you really, really want this book, I mean, if you have unlimited income, go for it, sure. Otherwise, don't give whoever this rat bastard is $100 for this book. Wait a little bit. Reaper will come out. We'll all just be deceased, but you can buy Seer when Reaper comes out, okay? Don't spend $100 on that's a lot of money. My hair looks terrible. I didn't bring anything to drink in here with me, y'all. I am so thirsty and parched. Dry mouth. Like a cat. Anyway, okay. So I'll see you guys later. And another one down, and another one down. Okay. Every time.